Ross Tucker is here. It's time to talk NFL draft. I can't believe it's already tomorrow. Frankly, this has been the longest two-month period since the Panthers got the number one overall pick, and we're joined by Ross Tucker in a little bit. We'll tell you how. Let's just say you are Mr. Irrelevant. You can make a story out of it at myfrontpagestory.com. All right, let me ask Ross Tucker about this. First of all, are you surprised that now Will Levis has become the most bet on number one overall pick at the books?
Is that right?
Yes.
Is that correct?
It just happened today.
Yeah, if that's the case, then yes, I am shocked because I truly believe that those people are absolutely wasting their money. I think Bryce Young is going to be the number one overall pick, and I think that Reddit user that posted that Levis is telling people Carolina's taking him, that Reddit user just made a bunch of money for the sports books, Adam, if that's correct.
So you referred to Will Levis on Twitter at Ross Tucker NFL as K-Mart. Wow. Can I just say what? So explain that.
All right. So my dad was in sales for a long time,
Right?
For a chocolate Easter bunny company, actually, and he told me one time when K-Mart was going out of business, he's like, "Yeah, Ross, they're just in the middle. Like, if you want the cheapest price, you go to Walmart.
Right.
If you're looking for something, that you just need like something for the house or whatever, and want something a little bit nicer, you go to Target, or as some people would say, Target, right?
Yes.
Like you go to Target. Kmart kind of got stuck in the middle, right? Where it's like you didn't go there for the lowest price. You didn't go there for something nicer. And he said the middle is not where you want to be. And to me, with Will Levis, if you're looking for like the polished pocket passer, the guy that's ready to roll, that's CJ Stroud. That's not Levis. Levis took all these sacks last year, missed a bunch of throws, etc. If you're looking for like the high upside, the potential, probably Anthony Richardson, right?
Yep.
Gun for an arm. He's gigantic. He's fast. So I guess it depends on what a team's looking for. But to me, Levis is kind of in the middle, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's a little more polished than Richardson, but not as high upside. A little bit more upside maybe than Stroud, but not as much as Richardson. So I just think Levis is going to fall because I think he's kind of stuck in the middle. Now, some people say he's going to go number 2 to the Texans, and I could be totally wrong about him and Kmart. By the way, there's only 20 Kmart stores left, and 4 of them are in the U.S. Virgin Islands. I looked it up to see if Kmart was even a thing anymore.
This is great research. Ross Tucker is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. What are your thoughts on Young, though?
Love him. Absolutely love everything about him. I mean, Adam, I do a lot of recruiting stuff. I have a company, Go Big Recruiting.
Yep.
Do you know how good you have to be to get a full ride to Alabama if you're 5'10", $170
right.
at quarterback?
Yep.
Do you have any idea how good your high school video has to be and how good you are? And then to win the Heisman and then to start your first 2 years. And look, Alabama's on national TV every game. I've never seen him have a bad game.
Yeah.
I mean, you tell me, Adam, you guys probably has he had a bad game? Even when they lost to Tennessee, it's like 48-45,
mm-hmm.
and Bryce Young plays out of his mind. And, this is not the Mac Jones Alabama team or even the Tua Alabama team.
True.
Look at the draft prospects. Show me where the Alabama O-linemen are.
Uh-huh.
Show me where the Alabama receivers are. Adam, they're not there.
You're right.
He did it even though the guys around him really weren't that great this year. It wasn't your typical Alabama team. He just has an unbelievable ability to make the right play at the right time. He's just got a knack for it. I love him. I think he's clearly the number one guy.
I do too. And if he were 3 inches taller, the Panthers probably would have signed him already. Actually, I think the better way to say it, if he were 3 inches taller, the Bears would not have traded out of the pick. They would have kept the pick and replaced and put him at quarterback and traded Justin Fields or made Justin Fields the backup. That's the way I looked at it. because he is to me is the modern quarterback in that when everything breaks down, he's cool. It's almost like he thrives in it. We talked to his high school quarterback, and he said he was that way in high school at Mater Dei.
Does not surprise me. Look, I've heard the comparison. Greg Cosell, who joins me every week on the Raw Tucker Football Podcast, last summer he compared him to Steph Curry, and I love it.
Mm-hmm.
He finds a way to make space to deliver the ball over and over and over and over again. He doesn't really take that many vicious shots either. He's got a good way. He gets rid of the ball quickly, or he moves around enough to not take those shots.
Let me ask you what he has said. Would he take Bryce Young number one?
Yes, he would.
Okay.
Yeah, that's his guy. He loves Bryce Young. Absolutely. This might be a dumb question, Adam.
Sure.
I know it's a decent distance from Raleigh to Charlotte. What percentage of people in Raleigh are Carolina Panthers fans? I mean, I'm assuming it's the majority, but I guess I'm curious since they came in the 90s and since it is a decent drive.
I would say it's a plurality, not a majority. I would say if I was going to break it down, 35, maybe 40% are Panthers fans, but we're such a transient area here that we have everybody. It's almost like you could talk when you talk about the National Football League. You can talk about anything. We have people who are super interested in Aaron Rodgers going to the Jets. We're Steelers fans everywhere, Cowboys fans. So
I bet you still have a good chunk of maybe not now, but for a while, I bet you had a good chunk of Washington fans.
Totally. That I would say they and maybe Dallas or Pittsburgh would be the next most followed team in the area. Let me ask you about Aaron Rodgers. I just saw the picture of Robert Saleh hugging Aaron Rodgers. Was he hugging Aaron Rodgers because it's Aaron Rodgers, or was he hugging Aaron Rodgers because he's not Zach Wilson?
He was hugging Aaron Rodgers because Aaron Rodgers is going to save his job.
Probably.
It's year 3 for Saleh. Really, it's season 5 for the GM, Joe Douglas.
Right.
That's why, in my mind, Adam, they gave up as much as they did. I think it's ridiculous what they gave up for likely 1 year to pay a guy $60 million for 1 year. But here's the thing. The Jets have the longest playoff drought in the 4 major sports.
Yep.
They're going to go to the playoffs with Aaron Rodgers. He's going to get Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh contract extensions. And if he doesn't and they get fired, what do they care about next year's first-round pick anyway? They're fired. They're not there anymore. Right. This is why you always want to do trades with desperate teams who have executives or coaches on the hot seat, because they're desperate. They're willing to do things that other more secure, more rationally thinking teams won't do.
Yeah, I'm with you, by the way. I am a recovering Jets fan. I grew up going to Jets games at Shea Stadium. I was there for Joe Namath's last couple of years. So I fully understand just how dysfunctional that organization still is, even though they have a different owner than they did 35, 40 years ago. I don't know. Can Aaron Rodgers be, and I said this way yesterday, can he be the supercharged tomato juice to the New York Jets skunk? Can he do that?
Yeah. I think they're going to go to the playoffs. I think they can maybe even make a run. The problem is, Adam, is twofold. I mean, their division's really tough. Right? So they're going to beat each other up. No one's going to get, number 1 or probably even number 2 seed, right? Which hurts. They might have 3 playoff teams with the Bills, Dolphins, and Jets, which means, by the way, the Patriots would be in the basement, which is a whole other interesting story we could get into. Because that's fascinating in and of itself, the thought of the Patriots in the basement in a division and what that means for them. The problem is the AF. I mean, you get to the playoffs. I think the Jets will make the playoffs, but if they don't win the Super Bowl, I think they paid too much for 1 year of him. And to win the Super Bowl, probably win it on the road at Buffalo or at Cincinnati or at Kansas City or maybe all of them. Good luck.
Yeah, well, I mean, Aaron didn't have great success at Lambeau Field necessarily in the postseason. They lost a bunch of games at home. Are you sure he's only going to play 1 year? Because the way I look at it, if the Jets gave up all of that for just 1 year, that's malpractice.
I'm not sure he's only going to play 1 year. He did say he was 90% retired when he went into his cave or whatever,
Right.
which I don't believe for a second.
I agree.
Yeah, he was going to give up $60 million fully guaranteed this year. I mean, I just don't believe him for a second.
Right.
I know this much, though, Adam. Next January and February, we're going to be talking about whether or not he plays another year. I know that for a fact. Whether he does or doesn't, it's going to be a conversation for at least a couple months.
Just like the guy he took over for in Green Bay.
He loves it that way. I don't know what he gets out of it. He likes the attention or whatever, but that's just how he rolls.
All right, before I let Ross Tucker go, at Ross Tucker NFL, if somebody wanted to go into one of those caves, they could actually make it a front page story. I spent 4 days in a cave drinking ayahuasca, contemplating my future, and we can make a front page story out of it. Tell me how we can do that.
Well, much better than that, Adam. Mother's Day is like 2 weeks away, man.
Oh, that is true.
And a lot of people listening or watching don't know what to get their mom. People really don't know what to get, like, their wife, the mother of their kids. I'm just telling you, go to myfrontpagestory.com. By far, best Mother's Day gift I've ever seen. You talk to one of the writers for 10 minutes while you're driving home from work or driving to Chick-fil-A, whatever. You tell them how great your wife is or your mom, whatever. They write this unbelievable story. It's like, looks like it's framed on the cover of the newspaper. It is framed. It's beautiful. And just to be able to say to them, I want to do something special, so I had a story written about you. I mean, it sounds like you like commissioned some author and came up with this crazy idea. They don't know that there's a company like this. And then when they read the quotes, they cry almost every time. You know, I don't tell her enough how much I appreciate her and everything she's done. They will cry. myfrontpagestory.com, myfrontpagestory.com. Oh, and because it's framed, it'll be hanging up in the house forever. So it's like the gift that keeps on giving. myfrontpagestory.com. Do it, fellas.
You are the gift that keeps on giving, Ross Tucker. The K-Mart thing killed me. Appreciate your time. We'll talk again, man.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Adam.